everybody. You're watching Echowood Holsteins YouTube channel. It is the end of February right now, and we're actually hauling our manure pit. And not because it's full either. It's excellent conditions for going right now. So there's no snow on the fields. The fields are frozen, and we've had a very mild winter, and we don't know what March, April, and May are going to be like. So our pit would be full like the first part of April, but we've got an opportunity that we normally don't get, and we're getting the manure out. So a little different colored tractors going, but they're working out really good. These guys got sand augers in the bottom of their tanks. He's a little full, but when they start the tank up, there's an auger in the bottom, and it goes, and then that keeps the sand settling at the bottom of the tank. So they got a brand new noon boat in here. Came off the trailer yesterday, brand new. I should have started this yesterday because he said, well, here goes $20,000 off of the value of the boat just by sticking it in the manure. So I'm like, yeah, probably. So anyhow, the guys that are hauling this time, actually they hauled last time for us too. Overholtzers, custom out of Colby, a couple Overholtzers, a Brubaker. They work together, and some of the drivers own their own tractor and tank. And I know Overholtzer owns a boat. Yeah, it's working really good. The ground is froze, so it's what you got to worry about in the spring, making ruts and ripping the fields up because of all the moisture in the spring. That's why we're getting this out now. We'll be good through May if we do this. And it's perfect conditions. Like normally February is kind of frowned upon to haul manure, but it's a really odd year. And no road bans, that's another big thing. Usually in the spring, when you do get froze cold nights, and then during the day it gets warmer, usually the road bans are on to keep you, and then you can't be going because the county won't let you. So there's another one loading down here right now. John Deere. So they got five John Deeres here. Actually they got 4 John Deeres in New Holland, then we're hauling with the Versatile and our 7300. So we're hauling with 6. We're hauling 4 miles away, and we're putting it on like 12 to 15,000 gallons an acre depending on the field. But it's really thick stuff. It ain't going nowhere. And during the day it's warming up. There's no rain in the forecast or snow. So that dark manure on top of the fields, it's going to warm the ground up, and then it'll be unthawed, and that moisture from the manure will penetrate right into the ground. So it's really, that'll really be good. Instead of taking a bigger chance on it running off. So the pit isn't near full, it's a little over half. So we hope to pretty much empty it. Then we'll be good for me. So anyhow, we'll catch up with you in a little while. We are also giving, you see my couch here, Teo's helping me. Every cow in the barn is getting a autogenous vaccine this morning. That's for mastitis, and there's some salmonella vaccine in there. There's just I don't know, there's like 8 different things. Problems we had, there's a Clostridial. Problems we had on our farm, we sent the samples in, and they cultured it and made a vaccine. And that was a couple years ago. So that's the only vaccine, mastitis vaccine we give. We give it like 4 times a year. And that's one thing in it is E. coli. And there's something else in there for mastitis, but I don't remember all the bugs. Klebsiella maybe? I think it is. All right, well, I got to get back to giving shots. I'll pick up in a little while. So right now I'm going through and giving all the breeding shots, the out-sync this morning. And Teo, he's coming behind me with autogenous, giving it to everybody. And then when I get done with one pen, giving my shots, like this is the pen 4 shots that I'm giving right now. This was pen 3. But there's more than that. It's all folded up. But anyhow, then I go and help him. When we get towards, like, he's about half done, then we finish giving the autogenous. Anyhow, that's it. Just going through here giving breeding shots right now. 1459. Another thing I was thinking about, we should really do more video on the milking, because we got 9 people milking cows here. These are the people that make this farm go around. The people that are milking, the calf feeding. I mean, I do help. I haven't had to milk in a long time, to be honest with you, because I'd be slow in there. They've got a good system. They've got their people. They all work together good. And I've got other stuff to do without milking. So it's not that I don't like milking. It's just that I don't need to, because we have somebody else to do that. But I guess the reason I'm saying that is our employees are really the reason that we're able to do what we do. It's not because of myself or Jaron or my mom or dad. And my mom and dad help a lot too. And Jaron and I do a lot. We really do. But we wouldn't be here with this amount of cows and everything without our employees. So just want to give a shout out to them also, because I did feel that when we do our videos, usually we do it when we're doing special stuff, and it's Jaron and I and Abigail, and they don't get enough credit for what they really do. So here's Teo up here. I'm going to help him now, but everybody behind him is done. So is what he's doing. He's just keeping all the cows that need the shot yet in front of him, because everybody gets it. So that's a lot easier than going through and marking and picking out cows. We just know everybody needs it. So you start on one side of the pen, like we start over there, we go around, do all the ones in the headlocks, then these loose ones at the end yet. Usually takes 2 people, but Teo's doing a good job here. Right, Teo? Alright, so we just finished with 10-4, we're letting them loose. It's not good to keep cows locked up too long. I think they say an hour a day is plenty. Keep them locked up as little as possible. So Keith's hauling with this tractor today. I started this morning at 3. Keith came about 4:30, took over while we did that vaccine and all that stuff. Then he had another meeting around 8:30 he had to leave. Hopefully he'll be back by 10, and then we can start getting ready for herd health. And Marty's coming at noon, I think. 12, sometimes it's 12:30, but yep, so it'll be a fairly busy day yet. Everything happens at once, it seems. So you can see how frozen the ground is. I mean, we went over this ground, been several tankers over it, a lot of tankers, and you don't even see any tracks hardly. For sure nothing indented in the ground. That's why I like hauling on the frozen ground, because there ain't really any frost in the ground, very, very little. Just the top few inches, enough to hold you up, and then you don't have to worry about compaction like you would if the ground wasn't frozen. And the sun will warm that up, and it'll unthaw it, and then it'll just percolate right in the ground. Just percolate right in. It'll be really nice. So you can see back there's no tracks from the tractor and tank. Well, you can't really see behind the tank right now, but you can see behind the tractor. So there's a lot of sand in this manure. It's really thick. So we're gonna stop up here when we get it almost off, and we're just gonna agitate it. And that means instead of going out the back of the tank, there's another pipe that drops down into the tank with a valve on it. So you're gonna close the one that goes out the back of the tank, and the one that goes down in the tank's gonna open up. And then there's like an elbow on the bottom of that one, down the bottom of the tank, blowing forward. So if there's any sand laying in the bottom, the idea is to get it blown to the front and get it out, instead of it accumulating. Because if you don't have vegetation, you're hauling 4 miles, a lot of sand, your tank will be full of sand if you don't do something like that, if you don't stir it up. We got that. the guys that are hauling actually got augers in the bottom. So when their tank is on, it's a really slow auger that's turning and bringing that sand to the front of the tank if there's anything settled out. Really nice feature. Kind of wish we had that. Because every load you know you're empty that way. With the agitation, which we're going to turn the agitation on right now. It's just this first lever, we're going to pull it back so we aren't spreading. And now up on top of the tank, there's a valve that goes down, and the PTO is still running, and it's taking that manure, taking it up the top and then back down, and then it's blowing it towards the front of the tank. Because the manure gets sucked out of the front and then goes up the pipe, across the top of the tank, and then down the back. Just the way it is. Because your tank's always leaned forward, so you kind of got to unload the front. I can see better in the mirror. That's how I watch it, but I don't think you can see very good in the camera in the mirror. When I see it start slowing down, then I hit the brakes a couple times, bring any loose manure to the front of the tank. Just got an extra thing you do when you're hauling sand. The other thing you really got to watch out for, and you farmers all know about it, but those of you who don't, is as wide as these tractors are, you got to make sure that there's somebody coming at you who's loaded, that you yield to them, because there's been people that have hooked duals before and ripped the back ends of tractors off and everything else. So we're here at the intersection. We got one turned in, so we're just going to sit here and wait on him. We got to make sure we make a full stop. Yep, looks good. No rolling stops. It's dark out here. Morning, second day on February manure hauling. Just getting started. This morning we started a little later. Yesterday we started at 2:30. It's 4 o'clock. Getting loaded up here. Go get in line with the Versatile. So we got this first side empty right here. It's probably 6 inches of manure down there is about it. But this pipe right here is where our wash water comes out. And the pipe over there on the other end is where the manure comes out. And then the way this pit is designed, it's supposed to fill up. The manure is supposed to fill up to that wall, and then the water runs over the wall. The sand is supposed to stay, but we use a lot of sand, so if the pit's full, a lot of times sand ends up going over the wall. So now we're over on the other side and still with the boat. It was really thick manure over in the first stage. I think it was pretty much all sand, or I should say all the sand. I think pretty much all the sand that was in the pit this time was in the first half because the pit didn't fill up. So I don't think the sand ran over the wall really. So I'm thinking this side over here, it should empty pretty good. Should be able to get this pit empty. Yeah, it's really something to be able to haul this time of year in good conditions. I mean, you can haul usually any time of the year, but a lot of times it's not ideal conditions, where now it's middle to the end of February and it's like really good conditions to be hauling. But right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning. We started at 4 this morning. It's starting to get a little smeary, so I don't know if we'll be able to go till 10 or not. But yesterday we went from like 3 to noon. We got a lot out. And then Thursday is tomorrow. It's supposed to be warmer, so we probably won't be able to haul tomorrow morning. But then Friday it's supposed to be cold all day. We should be able to finish emptying out this whole side, and then we'll be good. We'll have enough storage through May. So my turn. So I'm actually hauling by myself. Everybody else is hauling on a different field. on a hay field, and I am hauling up behind the farm. We bought this piece last year, and it had drain tile in it back in the 60s, I guess. So I went to get it approved so that we could drain tile a wet part of it, and they said it's called PC, prior converted, so we can do whatever we want in this field as far as drain tile, ditching, moving, filling in low spots, and everything. So we got the backhoe coming to clean out that ditch that runs along there, all the way out the road, and then we are going to drain tile this bottom part of the field here. Part of it hasn't been farmed for several years because the guy that used to rent it got his combine stuck in here and damaged the old clay tiles. They're shot. They need replaced. So that's why I'm hauling up here. Before we put the drain tile in and have all them tile lines. Otherwise, normally this part close to the farm we would just drag line it, but they're coming this week. So it's a good place because that grassy area there hasn't had manure for years, so we can really put it on heavy in there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just hauling a few loads up here to do that. Works out good. Get a lot of loads out in a hurry too. And the ground is getting smeary, you can see. I don't know if I can see the tires. It's warming up. It's supposed to be almost 50 degrees today. And right now it is 9:15. So we aren't gonna have a long day today. But we're doing good in the pit. Everything's looking good there. But yeah, you can see this grassy area. We're gonna clean the ditch out that's over there and then put drain tile through here so we can farm this all. We paid enough money for it, we kind of have to do that. Can't leave it sit, just be weeds all the time, which is what it's been the last 10 years probably. Hopefully I don't get stuck here. Oh yeah, she's getting spongy by that tanker tire. And actually, the guys got a tanker stuck yesterday and they couldn't get it out. They had to call a wrecker because it broke through the frost. It was the last load before we quit. It just broke through the frost, and then they couldn't get it out because it was like you get all that hard frost, and then the tractor that was trying to pull it was pulling on frozen, like frosty ground and no traction. So they just called a wrecker and had a wrecker come and winch it out. Worked out good for them. They got it out. Okay guys, I'm done for today. Where I was hauling, it got a little soft. He's coming out now with the New Holland, but I'll go show you the pit. Looks pretty good. This is the first stage. So this one here, this is where our wash water comes out and our manure comes out over there. So we're like 4 feet below that. This one's pretty much empty. Probably at the most a foot in there. But I don't even think there's that much. And then this side here, both sides are the same depth, so there's probably 4 or 5 feet in here yet. But tomorrow's Thursday, I don't think we're going to be able to haul. It's going to be ain't going to get cold enough tonight, but Friday it's supposed to be down to 12. We're going to get this emptied out. So anyhow, we'll speak at you later. Morning guys, we are on the last day of manure. We got the drone up. And we're ready to start a field here. That looked really good. You guys can go.
Tears are empty.
Okay, here's Jaron trying to take off from the tractor hood with the drone. Not bumping away. It's our last couple hours of manure hauling here. So everything's not so pretty right now this time of year. It's not green yet. It'll get better here obviously in a couple months. But this is only February 24th or 23rd today. Something like that. Hey, I think it's been 1990, February
23rd.
February 23rd. So I think today would be 34 years ago that we moved to Wisconsin from Ohio. My mom and dad moved 5 kids, all of our cows, the equipment and everything from Wayne County, Ohio when I was 14. So it's been a little while.
The drone like right above the boat.
Yep, today is the day we left down Ohio. We were here the next morning. Just backing into the tank here. Yep, and we brought, my grandma hauled the cows, all but 1 load. I think she brought like 8 loads up here from Ohio. And we milked 70 cows here in Wisconsin for a long time before we built the freestall barn back around 2010-ish, 9 maybe. But yep, that's where it all started, Wayne County, Ohio. Echowood Holsteins, my mom and dad. And they moved to Wisconsin so that us kids could farm. So, a lot cheaper land. That was the main reason. So here we are, right, Darren?
Yeah.
That's why you're here. That's why you're farming.
So there's some sand out there. You can see it.
So you guys, that'll be it for this video. Your pit's pretty much empty here. Just blowing the last little bit over, but we got some other stuff we got to go fix. And we're gonna end it. So
Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys in the next one.